Hey YouTube, it's me, Alex Brand again, and this is video number 2. Today I decided I'm going to tell kind of really a personal story, my coming out story. I feel like it's kind of like a rite of passage for most gay YouTubers. They kind of tell how they went through the process, who they told first, that kind of thing. The story all really starts back when I was in elementary school. I was really different than a lot of the other kids. I was really effeminate, and it garnered me a lot of negative attention, especially from the other boys. I remember there was this one kid, especially, he was brand new to the district, brand new in my class, and him and his brother were just really different. They, I know it sounds really stupid, but they would just like cuss and swear, and they created this like air that I had never experienced before in school. And of course, like, me being way different than everybody else caught a lot of attention from them. And so the one older kid kept calling me faggot. To hear that word in 3rd grade was crazy. You know, I didn't even know the meaning of the word. So I dealt with a lot of issues back then. I would come home crying all the time, all through elementary school. In middle school, it was kind of similar, especially in 6th grade. I would come home crying like every day, telling my mom, like, these people are so mean, they're threatening me, they're calling me names, like ridiculing me in class. Like, I hated being at school. We eventually moved, and I think a lot of the reason why we moved was because of how I was being treated. Like, coming home crying every day, my mom would just be devastated, and we would talk about it, and there were times when I would go to really dark places back then. You know, I was only 11 or 12, trying to cope with very adult topics. When you have people saying things about you, starting rumors about you on a sexual context based on how they perceive your orientation, it's a lot to handle, especially back then. After 6th grade, I came to the district that I live in now, Garden City Public Schools, and middle school was just as bad. I would get physically harassed, verbally harassed, touched, yelled at in the hallways. It was terrible. I just felt really alone, especially in 7th and 8th grade. I had a friend who I was really close to, and through other people's influence, we were driven apart. Kids are terrible. Kids are terrible to each other. I was terrible to other people. Like, I would say horrible things. There was this one girl, she had a smell about her, right? And I would be so mean to this girl. I would tell her things like, call her crotch tuna. And I look back on how I acted back then, how I treated other people, and it's definitely something I'm not proud of. I would never want to go back there ever again. High school wasn't quite as bad, and that's not really saying much, honestly, because in high school, that was when I felt the most alone. I had maybe 2 friends who really didn't treat me that well. It'd be like really flaky. I try to make plans with people and they would bail last minute or not tell me, like, hey, we're not really gonna hang out today, you know, that kind of thing. And that really hurts, especially when you do investigating and find out that the reason is because they're so worried that people think that they're going to be hanging out with someone who's gay. Like, I can't be known for hanging out with you because people think you're gay. When someone says that to you and you think they're your friend, it destroys any type of relationship that you could possibly have with that person, because at that point, they've betrayed you. And me now, I would tell myself, don't put up with that shit. You're worth so much more. It wasn't until like my junior and senior year that I really started making friends. My best friend now, my best friend Sam, love her. She knew I was gay. I met other people through her and my other good friend Colleen, she had a gay cousin. Him and my friend Sam were really who were the ones to nudge me out of the closet. And when I say nudge, I mean violently push. The first person that I ever told was a mutual friend of Sam and I. So I messaged her one day on AIM and I was like, I like guys. And we had this long discussion and I said, you're the first person I'm ever telling. I just feel comfortable telling you. Like, I hope you don't betray that trust. And then over the course of a few months, I came out to Sam, came out to Colleen and my other good friends at the time. And I started to feel like a real person. Like a weight was lifting off of my shoulders. I still hadn't told my parents. I still didn't feel comfortable telling my parents. I felt like they would not understand, especially my mom. I found this website called connection.org and it's unfortunately not available anymore. I met someone on there and his name was Ray, right? Now Ray's a huge activist. One of his major points about being a gay man, especially in the United States, is that if you have the safety to do so, you have an obligation to be out. You being out gives you visibility and will change the minds of others. It starts kind of like a rippling effect. I was living with my aunt at the time. I had moved out of my parents' house and my aunt had seen that I was on that Connection website, and her being nosy as hell went on Connection, put two and two together, and one night she goes, so do you want to tell me what Connection is, or do I just have to tell you that, like, I know? It was my first kind of taste of being out to my family and having people know in my family. Going to college though, like art school is so liberal, there's people from all walks of life, everybody is like super open. I met my friend Kayla, who is like, Kayla's my ride or die. They are one of my favorite people in the world. Probably my favorite person in the world right now. When I first saw Kayla, we hated each other. I thought Kayla was weird. Kayla hated me. They thought I was obnoxious. But over time, we warmed up to each other, and I became really, really, really good friends with Kayla. They've been a solid source of support for me. Now, I had my business out on Facebook, and I had unprivated it, and I had decided to change my orientation to gay. But I was just saying like really weird things. Like I had a message on my Facebook that I was going to get a tattoo of a cross with a vagina hanging off of it, butterflies flying out of the vagina that had some weird saying on it. I guess my parents had been curious about like what I was up to, and they saw my orientation, they saw what I was saying on my Facebook. My mom called me and she was so angry. She was like, you're being an asshole, so much of a coward, you couldn't even tell me that you were gay. I always told you that I love you and that anything that you felt like you needed to tell me, you could tell me. Well, come to find out, my mom had told my entire family. So to answer her question why I never told her, it was because I felt like I couldn't necessarily trust her. And she proved me right. She still doesn't understand to this day why I didn't tell her and why I felt like, you know, I was held back from doing so. My main point in all of this is that I had so much fear. But the fact of the matter is that I love you. There are people out there who you can find who will love you, and I just think it's so important to make that known. If you are struggling, hit me up. Message me. We can talk. Yeah, that's my coming out story. Love you.